Hello, hey guys. How's it going? I hope everyone is doing well, day or night, whenever you tune in and see this. And I do apologize for the lateness, but such is life sometimes. I'm working on a couple of things, but I don't want to talk about it yet until I know for sure. So, some exciting stuff is kind of happening in the background, but as soon as I know for sure, I'll definitely let you guys know. So, anyway, this is going to be a general reading for Libra for January 17th through February 17th. So, we're going to go back a little bit in time over the last couple of weeks leading up into the week that we're in now, the rest of this week, and the rest of next week and weekend till about February 17th or so. And yeah, so this is a general reading. It can cover anything like love, work, friends, family, health, etc., and money, of course, as well. So always take it how it resonates. If it does resonate for you, always use your own intuition is always the most important. I'd also like to say that even if you are not a sun sign Libra or rising Libra, or even have your moon in Libra, there may still be some messages here for you as well, as we all have, 12 zodiac, all the 12 zodiac signs throughout our birth chart, our individual birth charts in different places. So you may still find something from this reading. Hopefully you will. And also, if you don't know your other placements already, you can do a free Google search, even if you don't know your exact birth time, and find out what your other placements are. I always encourage everyone to do that because depending on what's going on in your life, and it can change, right, at any time, week to week, right? But you may resonate more with your sun sign or your moon sign or your rising sign. And then, of course, always look into your Venus sign as well to get even more insight into matters of love and, bigger aspects of money or wealth. Okay, so always keep that in mind too. So yeah, I pulled all of your cards here, Libra, ahead of time. So let's do a quick little sound bell for some grounding and healing for the reading, and then we will go ahead and get started. And if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out whenever, getting the dog and cat hair out of here. And just be aware it does get a little loud in case you're sensitive to that. All right. So if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out, or you can just listen as well whenever. All right. Okay, Libra. All right, Libra. And anyone else tuning in as well. Let's go ahead and get into your reading here. I'm just going to set my timer and then make sure I have a little music on in the background just for my dogs to try to keep them distracted enough from barking at the neighbors and such. So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and start in the center here in the way that I do the readings. Also wanted to say that if you're new, welcome, and even if you're not new and you're coming back, welcome back. Both of you, or both of those things are important, right? I also wanted to say real quickly that I do take one photo at the end of all the cards in case you want to look at them later more up close in detail, especially if you're not watching the live and you want to pull it up while you watch or listen, or just, again, see it more up close in detail. All you have to do is click in the description box below, and then after the live, I will post the photo to my Facebook page. So if you want to check out the photo, but you don't have to if you're not interested, it's just there. as an extra thing. So yeah, I'll go ahead and call out the cards in the center in order. And then just so you know, I do use two different decks here. So we'll talk about what's on the top and the bottom of each deck. We'll also talk about your tarot confirmation cards that are along the side. And then at the very end, we do have a couple of oracle cards for you as well. All right, so Libra, we have the Sun in the reverse position, the King of Sacred Circles in the reverse position, also known as the King of Pentacles in the reverse position, Eight of Sacred Circles in the right side up position, Eight of Pentacles in the right side up position, Eight of Swords right side up, the Justice card in reverse. That is your card. We'll talk about that later, but it's always a good omen when it shows up in your own reading. So there you are. Then we also have the Princess of Swords in the right side up position, the Ten of Sacred Circles or Ten of Pentacles in the right side up position, the Judgment card also in the reverse position, and then the Queen of Swords in the right side up position. Also, another thing to note too as well, since we're covering a 4.5 or 5 week time period for this reading. This first row is energy starting around, and hopefully you can see right here, January 17th, could be a little bit before, a little bit after, right? And then going through that week and weekend, I'm just pulling up my calendar here since it's been a minute since I did the other readings. So yeah, we were saying this whole first row is energy from January 17th to about January 31st. So the end of January, all in this first row. Then the second row is about from February 1st to February 9th or so. And then the third row is about from February 9th to about the 17th. And today is the 8th, okay, when I'm filming this. All right. And the other thing I forgot to mention in the beginning of the reading as well is that, you know, this reading for some people may take time to resonate and show up in your actual physical world, right? Or your spiritual world, however you, or both, right? However you understand it too. So as an example, it may resonate for some people 6 months in the past, 6 months in the future, a year in the past, a year in the future, days, weeks, months, hours, minutes, seconds, etc. Okay, so always keep that in mind. And one more also quick note too, it's as we go through this reading, if you find that it isn't your reading, that's totally okay. It could be you need to find out what your other placements are if you don't already know, and check one of those signs readings here on my channel, or other readers as well. I always I put a list in my description box below of some of my favorite readers too. I always like to do that. So you can always check that out as well. But what I was going to say was it could be that this reading, as we get into it, is more about a person that you're dealing with here, Libra, another person or multiple people, or it's just about your general environment situation, or maybe even the collective unconsciousness or the astrology of this time period. It will differ for everybody, right? Since it's a reading for multiple people, multiple Libra's energies, right? Okay. So how are the Libra energies showing up at this time, right? Since it will be in everybody's birth chart in a different place, but we all have Libra energy. Okay, so when we start off with this first row here, and this is going backwards in time a little bit, right? Depending on when you're watching the reading, of course, but I think it will always be backwards in time. But even if you watch it, let's say as an example, how would it be forwards in time? You could be watching it for January 17th through February 17th of 2023, as an example, right? You know, there is a little bit of a blockage here in this first row in that last 2 weeks of January here. And we really see that, Libra, with your first card, which is the Sun in the reverse position. So again, this could be your energy or someone that you're dealing with or around your general environment situation. But when the Sun card is in the reverse position, this talks about stagnant energy, right? A slowing down of energy, a blockage in some way. It could be that somebody is not feeling particularly passionate or feeling creative at this time. It could be that somebody is not feeling the youthful energy and spirit the Sun card represents in the tarot, if you are familiar, even if you're not. And it could also be, the main thing that I would say is that somebody here is kind of not wanting to accept some type of enlightenment, realization, or accept more information to something here, okay, with the sun in the reverse position, okay? Now, we'll talk about it in just a minute here, because this is where Spirit wants me to talk to you about it, is what's on the top and the bottom of your other deck in relation to that sun card being in the reverse position. And hopefully you guys can see the cards a little bit. You know what I'm going to do is bring them a little bit closer to the camera, because I don't know why they were all over there. Okay, just sliding everything over. I know you still can't see them, but hopefully that helps a little bit. And then also, let me see if I can. Oh, that's too far down, but I was wanting to. Okay, I mean, that's the best I can do for now. Like I said, if you want to check out the photo later, I will be posting it. Okay, and I will hold up every card to the camera like I normally do. So we were talking about your first card, that sun in reverse. Okay, could be that there was a blockage that last 2 weeks of January with something going on there. Now, we're going to talk about, maybe why this blockage was there. Okay. What we have on the top and the bottom of your other deck here, this is a newer deck that I got, the Terra Mucha deck. It's really beautiful, but what we have is the Ace of Swords in the right side of position, and we have the Fool in the reverse position. And we're talking about it in relation to, let me just come closer here, the Sun card. Let me see if I can move it down a little bit. Okay. So, in the recent past, and what is recent? It will be different for everybody, just like how it might or may resonate for everybody. So, recent past could be a couple days ago, weeks, months, years, etc. Always take it how it may show up for you or make sense for you. But with the Ace of Swords on top and, the Fool in the reverse position, I would say the Fool, when it's right side up, just like the Sun, is both youthful energy, okay, right? But they're both reversed. So it means that maybe a little bit of this blockage or challenge here, slowing down of energy, excuse me, my nose is itchy, maybe started in the recent past, right, with this card, but also maybe it started in the way, way back past, because these two cards, what's on the top and the bottom, I said before that it was recent past energy, but sorry, wrong way the music's supposed to go, the commercials. I said it was the recent past, and that's more of what we see in the center here. Recent past, current energies, future energies. But I made a mistake. The two cards that are right here, what's on the top and the bottom of your other deck, is energy further back from that. So recent past versus the way, way back past, further back, okay? But it's, kind of saying the same thing, right? That there was a blockage that started further back in the past, and it's still showing up here in the more future, current, recent past, okay? But, you do have the Ace of Swords here in the right side up position, which is about having mental clarity, having some type of celebratory energy, having, gifts from the divine coming in. And this is also a very creative card. It is a very fertile card, right? Like fertile with ideas, with creativity, but also if you're a woman and you're wanting to have a baby, right, then it could be the actual, energy of being fertile, okay? But it's, usually taken more as a metaphor, okay? But it seems despite all that really great energy in the recent past and mental clarity and accepting gifts from the divine and using them, right? And also, what you see here in the recent past, which is really interesting when we talk about the sun in reverse, is that, gosh, I can't seem to get... That's the kind of day I'm having. It's totally fine. I'm trying to get my chair closer, and then I just dragged everything, but it's okay. It's all good. No big deal. But what I was trying to say was that with the Ace of Swords in the right side up position, there's actually coins. They look like coins at first, raining down from the top of the sword, right, with the crown and the reefs on each side. That is that celebration type energy. But they're actually not coins or in the tarot or like money or abundance. Yes, it is a very abundant card, but it's actually like more like golden pieces, which I guess could be coins too, or leaves, however you want to say it, right? Since we do have some plant elements in the picture. But what the sun card and the gold energy and a lot of spiritual cultures or traditions or religions is about enlightenment, right? So here in the way, way back past, if you can see those little gold pieces right there, if I stay still, they were raining down and they were helping bring more spiritual enlightenment, revelation, spiritual downloads, all those things, more information. And coupled that with that, it got more mental clarity on someone's side and it had more reasons to celebrate. But then it looks like somebody maybe was having a harder time making a leap of faith. They weren't quite ready to do that. Maybe they didn't want to look foolish to themselves or to others, or just again wasn't the right time. Maybe they didn't feel like they had enough support backing them if they were to make some type of leap of faith or trust in something, starting something new or even something old. And you see that, with the dog. Okay, the dogs represent the loyalty, right? But it is in reverse. So when you put it all together with the sun in reverse, it's like, yes, this is happening in the past, the way back past, and it's still kind of currently happening here with the sun in reverse. Okay, but like I always like to say, there are usually a couple different blockages throughout every reading, and it is not the end of the world. We all have moments where the energy isn't the best, or there's a little bit of a blockage or stagnant energy. Excuse me, and we just learn to work through it or bide our time, and then before you know it, then things usually turn out better, or the energy turns for the better. Okay, so let me just. I don't know what happened to the music. Oh, that's right, I turned it down because there was a commercial. Okay. Now, going forward to your second card here, Libra, we're still in a little bit of the blockage energy, but as a foreshadowing, your third card is really good. So like I said, it could have just been that last 2 weeks or so, maybe not even the full 2 weeks of January, where there was a little bit of this going on for you, the other person, multiple people, general environment situation. Okay. And it seems like maybe for some of you guys with the King of Sacred Circles, also known as the King of Pentacles in reverse, there may be somebody was having a hard time stepping into their own power or feeling confident at this time. But it is also something about, for some, right, I'm just getting this now, that some people here may have, if they're denying enlightenment, spiritual downloads, revelations, aha moments, right? With those two cards we just talked about, the Sun in reverse and the Fool in reverse, way back. We see it again here because if this card was right side up, there's lightning in the background. And it's actually like part of the energy that you would see in the Tower card in this same deck. So the lightning hits the top of the tower, which represents the crown chakra, right? We're talking about intellect. We're talking about spiritual downloads, revelations, getting more information, right? But it's in reverse. What is this king doing here? This Native American man is playing the drums. He's passing down oral traditions and lessons and stories to younger people, right? Before he, leaves this earth, okay? But it's in reverse, so it's almost like maybe somebody not only is there, they could be or could have in the recent past and way back past too, denied something or really didn't want to bring it about or feel it in any way, that they didn't even speak it to others. Of course, that makes sense, but maybe they didn't even say it to themselves. So I kind of was just getting that information. It may not be for everybody. Again, it could just be some stagnant energy, a blockage here, not feeling all the way in your power, or possibly, not wanting to be responsible for others, right? A king or a person in higher authority, or a boss, or whatever it may be. Maybe somebody here in the recent past, in that last 2 weeks of January, was not wanting to take on that leadership role in some way because they weren't feeling all the way in their power because of this denial of some type of truth, of somebody's truth, something. All right. Now, but like I said, it is not going to last forever. So let's keep going, because here by your third card, you have some nice, more for momentum energy finally coming in, and positive energy with the Eight of Sacred Circles in the right side up position. And this is about staying busy. This is about really being productive at something here. And it will be different for everybody, right? But you see this Native American woman, she's actually just learned how to make drums. So it could be about learning a skill or a craft that you didn't already know, or getting into a more deeper level of something that you already knew, but now you're learning even more levels on levels, right? But it's really about this productive energy, because you see her making the drums, and then there's multiple drums in the background as well. Okay, so it could be that this is, and I believe another sign had the similar, my nose is driving me crazy. They had the Eight of Sacred Circles or Eight of Pentacles. It wasn't in this position, I don't believe. It could have been somewhere further down in the reading, but I do remember another sign for this time period had something similar, like, okay, the start of the year so far this month in January has been blah. So I'm going to like help somebody else. I'm going to like go into what I know how to do, and I'm going to keep doing that, and I'm going to bide my time, and I'm going to wait. Not wait like doing nothing, but I'm going to like wait for the energy to shift. Okay, so that could be, again, a little bit of the collective unconsciousness or some of the astrology, during that time period. Now, speaking of astrology and signs, I totally forgot to call out those other zodiac signs that we have here in your reading. Excuse me, I need a sip of water. Maybe it'll help my nose from stop itching. I don't know. Somehow, I don't know, maybe I should put my nose in the water. No, I'm just kidding. But let's call out the other zodiac signs real quickly before we go forward to, in case you're watching this and you're like, oh, is blah, blah, blah going to show up in my reading? Or is this other part of my chart going to show up in this reading? Okay, so we're just going to do it for the major arcanas. We do have the sun, right? That's Leo energy. You could be dealing with a Leo. Or you could be dealing with multiple Leos, or you have a lot of Leo in your chart, or they do, vice versa. What else do we have? We have Capricorn, okay? You can be dealing with a Capricorn, vice versa. Have a lot of Capricorn in your chart or their chart. You showed up in your own reading, so you could be dealing with another Libra, perhaps, or you have like a lot of Libra in your chart, or vice versa. And what else do we have here? Wait, so we got 1, 2, 3. We had another one. Oh, 4. Yeah, so 4 major arcanas in your reading. So that does also talk about change, a lot of change perhaps happening during this time and even beyond, right? Even beyond February 17th for some. I always forget which zodiac signs are represented in the Judgment card, because it's not Justice, which is Libra, right? You do have Justice here, but you also have Judgment. It's a little bit of Libra energy, but I think there is another sign associated with it. I just want to double check. That one always throws me. Let's see, Judgment, Tarot card, Zodiac, signs, something like that. They're just saying it's Libra again. Maybe it is just Libra. Okay, I just wanted to double check. Okay, well, I'll look at it later, because I'm sure there has to be another sign associated with it, because Justice and Judgment are definitely different. But we'll just say that you have double Libra energy here a little bit, which is true. All right. So going back to where we were in your reading, though, putting the signs aside, remember we had Leo, Capricorn, and Libra. Okay. But putting that aside, let's get back into the second row here. And this is starting around February 1st through February 9th or so. Okay. And your fourth card is the Eight of Swords in the right side up position. So this is a little bit of anxiety, worry, overthinking here on somebody's part. But they're trying possibly to not feel this way in some kind of aspect. Okay, so you see this Japanese woman with her fan, right? She's fanning herself. She's trying to calm down and think things through, but she's thinking things through way too much. And there could be a lot of emotions, and that's making the anxiety, worry, overthinking possibly worse, right? With the water and the tarot representing our emotions and the side of the card here. But it could also be that there is just this energy, right, of you maybe not feeling like yourself in some way. And I say that because the Justice card is in the reverse position as your fifth card, okay? And it could be just maybe you're dealing with a lot of changes during this time period and even beyond, right, with the four major arcanas, that it's throwing you off balance in some way, or it could also be the traditional meaning of the Justice card in the reverse position, right? That something wasn't justified or things didn't go in your favor as far as a ruling being called, if we're talking about the law, right? Or even if you, let's say you judge someone, we'll talk about this later with the judgment card, but let's say you judge someone in some way or someone judged you and it actually wasn't the truth, right? Because when the Justice card is right side up, it's all about truth and balance, which is what Libra is all about, and beauty, right? All those things. But it seems like somebody is not feeling all the way themselves here with that Libra energy. And there could be, again, a truth denied, right? I just said Justice and Libra represents truth. Truth denied goes back to the Sun card, right? Being like, enlightenment's denied, more information is denied, spiritual downloads are denied, revelations are denied, more information is denied, okay? Or somebody doesn't want to see, right? But also what's really cool about this card and other decks too is when the Judgment card is in the right side up position, you see this woman and she's blindfolded, right? She's seeing the truth with her intellect, that's what the swords and the tarot represent, but also with her other emotions. But when I said truth is denied in reverse, or because the Justice card is in reverse, it's almost like it doesn't make sense, right? So you can't think your way through it. And that's kind of what we see here with both of these cards, your fourth and your fifth card, the Eight of Swords right side up and the Justice in reverse. So you can't, analyze it. You can't stay up in your head about it. You can't overthink it. You can't keep questioning things. You can't have anxiety, worry, or overthinking because it's not going to make you feel better or the other person feel better or general environment or multiple people feel better because that it seems like you have to make sense with not only your head, right, but leave that away because you've already done that a lot, it seems like here. So the next step is to start using your heart chakra or your other senses, your intuition, to try to make sense of something here, of why this energy is present. Now going forward, thank God, here you go, Libra. What do we have as your sixth card? The Princess of Swords in the right side up position. We finally arrive, right? What is behind her head here, if you're watching and not listening? The sun, right? And it's right side up, okay? So here, this young woman, right, this geisha, like kind of Japanese woman, is, well, I don't know if she's actually a geisha, but she has the Japanese clothes on. I shouldn't say geisha if I don't know if she's a geisha, okay? But whatever. I'm just saying, and I love geishas, okay, also. So nothing bad about geishas here. But, it's like she is learning to do both of those things we just talked about. She has her hands in almost like this prayer stance. And okay, and you see the sword, right? That's actually on her hip. The sword isn't going down in tarot, which represents the anxiety, worry, overthinking that you had before. The swords are going down. And the sword isn't going up in a positive way, like in your way back pass with the Ace of Swords. It's kind of in between, right? So it is like starting to slowly get more to the positive side. And you could be feeling this here, Libra, maybe towards the middle of this week, maybe even tomorrow, right? Or this weekend. It will be different for everybody, but it is a very nice relief, especially following that. Okay, so maybe now you're getting more back into your own energy. You're feeling like things are more balanced, more truth is coming out in some way, more creative energy is coming out, more passionate energy, okay, and the truth, the spiritual downloads, enlightenment, more information. It's all kind of coming out. But also, we see the water in the background. So she's like, okay, these are my emotions. I'm not going to let, excuse me, these emotions cloud my judgment. I'm going to use them together with my intellect, with the swords, and then have processed this truth, whatever it may be, this enlightenment information, all that. Okay, so very nice to see here, Libra. Okay, and hopefully, that does resonate with you, and is a welcomed card as well. Okay, now going forward, we're going to get into your last row here in the main center, and this is around February 9th through February 17th or so. Okay, we have now, following the Princess of Swords, your 7th card is the 10 of Sacred Circles, or 10 of Pentacles in the right side up position. Okay, and so the 10 represents completion in tarot. So it talks about endings and new beginnings. It also talks about a sense of community here, okay, with all these little Native American huts together. And what do we see at the top of the card? It's the full moon. Now, I remember looking up from the previous readings that the full moon, I think, is on February 17th. In this reading, or 17th, right? Something like that. And this reading goes till about the 17th or so. So this could be that full moon energy, just like any full moon. You can feel it for some weeks in advance, or usually the full moon's power is the highest the day before, the night of, and the day after. So it could have something to talk about these endings and new beginnings, or sense of community or abundance and forward momentum, positive energy, really coming around this full moon here for you, Libra. But regardless of the full moon in the background, if that resonates or not, it is a really beautiful card. It does talk about leveling up in some way for some people. You could be leveling up in a relationship. You could be leveling up in a job. You could be leveling up in a creative project, what have you, just going up to the next level, right? Going further from the previous stage of where you were at, okay? And so that's nice to see, right? The forward momentum here. Now, going forward, we have your Judgment card in the reverse position, which is your 8th card here, right? Following the 10 of Sacred Circles, or 10 of Pentacles. And it is in the reverse position. So, and it's right under, right? If we look at the cards this way, it's right under the Justice in reverse too. So again, there could be some type of judgment that didn't go in your favor or the other person's favor, or multiple people's favor. But it could also be because the Judgment does represent new beginnings. And do I want to rebirth something? Do I want something to be reborn? Especially since we just had it following the 10 of Sacred Circles, 10 of Pentacles, the beginnings, new beginnings and endings. This could be coming up right after it. Like, wait a minute. Do I want to restart something? Do I want to rebirth something? Or do I want it to put it to rest, okay? And with it in the reverse position, some of you guys will possibly say, I don't want to restart this thing. I don't want to rebirth this thing. I'm putting it to bed, okay? But it will, like I said, I always say, it will resonate for some of you. Now, it could also be because the shadow side of the Judgment card, if it was in the right side up position in this deck, is you see this woman punching the mirror. Okay, so there's a little bit of self-destructive energy But since it's in reverse, it could be that you're stopping a little bit of some self-destructive energy, or even, what was the other word I was thinking of when we were talking about endings and new beginnings or leveling up, right? With the 10 of Pentacles or 10 of Sacred Circles, self-sabotage, right? So some of you could be like, I'm not going to sabotage myself anymore. I'm going to accept this new beginning. I'm going to accept this new leveling up in some way, okay? But again, it will be different for everybody. So before we get into your ninth card here, when we talk about this judgment in reverse, this is actually where spirits wanted me to, spirit guides, right? Because I don't do the readings by myself. I have help from the spirits. Okay, so that's what I meant to say. If you haven't seen me before, if you've seen me before, you hopefully know what I'm saying. But we're going to talk about what's on the top and the bottom in your other deck here in relation to the judgment in the reverse position. So here we have the Queen of Cups in the right side up position and the Nine of Cups in the right side up position. And again, this is energy from the way back past. It could be a couple of years ago, a couple months ago, a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago, all right, etc. Okay, so it looks like in the way back past, there was a lot of emotional fulfillment, emotional happiness, emotional contentment. That's what the cups and the tarot represent, right? And the cup and the card is right side up. It's also a very dreamy-like creative quality with the Guinevere type character here. But it's also, again, when we're talking about leveling up, she is a queen. So in the past, maybe you had a higher level of position in a relationship, at work, in a creative project, what have you, whatever, with friends or family, etc. But maybe it was like a story that didn't fit you, or it was like somebody expected you to do that because that was the history. Like the cup is in the stained glass window. So like what's set in stone, what's like set in the window, what's like painted there to keep me in society's roles in some way. Okay, that could be for some, but not everybody. And now with the Nine of Cups right side up, it's like double. These are both Cups cards, right? So it's double emotional fulfillment, emotional contentment, emotional happiness. What are my emotional priorities? Okay, the Nine of Cups card is very celebratory energy, right? It's a party here in this medieval like scene, the woman dancing, the guy playing the guitar, and all that stuff. Okay, and 9 is almost 10, right? Remember, you did have a 10 in the right side up position. So in the way back past, maybe you were starting to feel ready to level up in some way. You were on the precipice of this big change, this ending, a new beginning, okay? But maybe somebody else didn't, that's the other thing. Maybe somebody else here didn't like that you were offered this leveling up in that future current energies in the third row, right, from February 9th through 17th or so. Maybe someone didn't like that you got the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Sacred Circles. Maybe somebody thought they should have got it. Okay, maybe they should have been, getting that promotion at work or getting more responsibility or roles in whatever. Okay, or maybe they didn't think that you should move in with your partner or what have you. Okay, but a little bit of that energy is there as well. But it has something to do with the emotions in the past, feeling more positive and feeling that your emotional priorities or their emotional priorities or everyone's emotional priorities, boundaries were set more in certain ways, and it was more maybe perhaps clear in the recent past. And so now we talk about it in the future current energies with the judgment in reverse. Maybe the other thing is that the emotions didn't feel as clear because of this judgment energy. And maybe somebody also could have, maybe you expected yourself or someone else expected you to take this leveling up in some way, this ending a new beginning, and maybe you decided, I thought I wanted that in the past, but I'm not sure I currently want that. Okay, again, it will be different for everybody. But moving forward here, let's talk about your ninth card before we get into your tarot confirmation cards along the side as well. We have the Queen of Swords in the right side up position here. Finally, another Swords card in the right side up position. And you had the Princess of Swords, right? Further back here, now you have the Queen. So another leveling up kind of energy there as well. But she is this Japanese woman that's towering over this little kind of Japanese island that's in the middle of the ocean, right? And so the emotions and the tarot are represented in the water. So there's all this water all around. And here she's kind of like waving at the little island, like, oh, you're so cute, you know? And so it's like almost that energy of when you think traditionally of the Queen of Swords, she can come off as really cold and calculated because she is in a position of authority. She has to make hard decisions. She doesn't show her emotions to everybody. But here, this kind of card in this deck is saying you don't always have to be that way. There can still be a playful energy to it. You know, it's just basically saying that after whatever this judgment that goes through that is passed, more towards like the middle of February here, Libra, you may have more mental clarity. You may feel your emotions are more balanced and you're able to use it to level up, right, in some way, or to step into your power, your leadership, your royalty-like energy, right? And you can do that and still, you know, be a boss or be in a position of authority without being seen as so cold. So maybe add some playfulness to it if you can in some way. But it is a really beautiful energy and card to end there as far as what's in your main center. But going forward, let's also talk about your tarot confirmation cards here. So go ahead and call them out in order, and then we'll go from there. So you do have, and I also like to say that the first two tarot confirmation cards is energy from the recent past. And again, you have to ask yourself, what is the recent past for me? Okay, so these two are recent past, and then the last two here are more future current energies. Okay, so you have the Devil in the right side up position. That's that Capricorn energy we talked about before. You have the Six of Cups in the right side up position here. And then you have the Six of Pentacles in reverse, and then more future current energies. And then you also have the Knight of Wands in reverse in the future current energies. All right, so let's break them down, the cards that it is, of course, confirming. So in the recent past, when we have this Devil card energy showing up here, the Devil card talks about, you know, nobody's evil here or anything like that, hopefully, but it's more about the Devil being like your animalistic side is out too much. So the Devil talks about addictions, it talks about imbalances, right? Somebody could be addicted to, of course, drug, alcohol, sex, food, whatever, shopping, whatever, but it also could be they're addicted to a certain way of life or over a workaholic or whatever it is, right? But there's some type of imbalance, okay? And this is a little bit to the same energy that I was talking about with the Judgment card in the reverse position of that self-sabotaging energy, because there's usually a man and a woman, and you can see they're both here in the palm of this woman here in the center, but they have chains around their necks. But what you don't see is that the chain, the clasp is open. So that's the self-sabotaging energy, because it's always a choice. So am I, in the recent past here, Libra, am I making the choice to do something that I know that is out of balance for myself or for others, or you know, something going on here? But it is natural for us to all go through these things at different times. So you know, we get out of balance, and then we notice that, and then we strive to get back into balance, right, with those impulses in some way. So again, it's not like the end of the world type energy here, okay? But when this Devil energy in the right side of position is coming in here, and it's confirming the Sun in reverse, the Eight of Swords right side up, and then interestingly, it's also confirming, let me come forward and not knock over my desk, sorry. It's also confirming the 10 of Sacred Circles in the right side up position, or 10 of Pentacles, right? So I'll put this down for a moment. But yeah, this Devil card in the recent past energy could be why the Sun card was in the reverse position. If I'm out of balance in some way, excuse me, or the other person is out of balance in some way, or both people or multiple people, general environment situation, then how can I accept this truth? How can I accept this playful, youthful energy, this passion, this creativity, the spiritual downloads, the aha moments, the information? How can I accept it if I'm out of balance, right? So that definitely makes sense. And then when it comes together, the devil coming in here and confirming the Eight of Swords, it's like, okay, if I'm again out of balance in some way, then my okay, if I'm out of balance in some way within my body and my spirit, or my energetic levels, right, then this is going to make your mind race more, right? It's going to have you overthinking more, and not be able to process your emotions in a more balanced way. All of those things. Okay, so that definitely makes sense here. Now, the devil, though, becomes in that third row here. The middle of February here for you, Libra. The devil now is a catalyst card because it's confirming the 10 of sacred circles or 10 of pentacles, right? So it's like, okay, because something was out of balance here, a person, multiple people, general environment situation, now they are more in balance, right? 5 on each side. 10 is a completion number, but it's also a balance number. There's 5 huts on one side of the card here and 5 huts on the other, pretty much. Okay, well, maybe not exactly, because, all right, I take that back. They're actually kind of all over the place. But when you first think of 10, I always think of when you learn how to count as a child, right? You're like, okay, 5, 10. I got 10 fingers, 10 toes. I don't know. I just feel like 10 normally is that balance kind of number. But of course, that's not exactly what's depicted in the way that the artist did this card. I'm not saying I'm more right or they're wrong or anything like that, but it was more like I spoke before fully looking at the card type of energy. Okay, so always take what makes more sense to you. But the devil here was that catalyst card for someone to maybe in the recent past, again, like we said before, somebody wasn't ready for the 10 of Pentacles. They weren't ready for the ending and the new beginning, the leveling up in a relationship, in a job, in a project with friends or family, etc. Because in the recent past, somebody was out of balance, but maybe now they're in more balance, right? So yeah, take it, how it may come up for you. Now, moving forward here, when we talk about your second confirmation card, and this is also energy from the recent past, you have the Six of Cups cards. And so when we talk about past, whether it's recent or way, way further back, past energy, the Six of Cups card is about dealing with somebody from your past or issues from the past or childhood, all of those things. It also could be past nostalgia of looking at the world like a child, right? That everything is all good, rose-colored glasses, all that type of thing. But, it is also, when we talk about 6, another balance card as far as the numbers go or the numerology, right? 6 is balanced just like 10, okay? But you see these 2 children here, and they're watching this guy like doing something here with the flowers. He looks a little bit older than them, but all the cups are right side up. The cups, right, represent emotions. So it's a very positive card. It is for some a union card, right? Because it could even just be on a base level. Yes, right on the bell there, talking about a union between masculine and feminine energies, right? Or, union between people in the past, okay? Past business partnerships, past romantic partnerships, past friendships, past family, whatever it may be. Like if it's not a particular person from the past, it could be, again, that nostalgia or some type of issues here from the past, okay? But when it's coming in here and it is on the right side up position, it is confirming the King of Pentacles or King of Sacred Circles in reverse. It's confirming the Justice in reverse, and it's confirming the Judgment card in reverse. I think the sun's going down. I might turn on the light in a second here. It's getting, you know what? Let me do that real quickly. Hold on, guys. Here is the light. Here. I don't know, where's the light with the, oh, there it is, with the sun in reverse. let's bring the light. Yes, let's bring the light back, the sun, or the actual physical light. Okay, sorry. Okay, so hopefully that's much better. Yeah, I wasn't realizing that it was going down. I was just so into your reading here, Libra. But right, the Six of Cups is coming in here and confirming. The King of Pentacles in reverse, or King of Sacred Circles, the Justice card, you in reverse over here, and the Judgment card in reverse. So I'll do it one by one. It's easier to hold the cards that way and explain. But yeah, it could be saying that the reason why in that last 2 weeks of January, maybe somebody wasn't ready to level up or accept some type of truth or step into their own power here, or pass on oral traditions, pass on lessons and life lessons and all those things, is because maybe it was too painful for some. Maybe they rather be in that more childlike energy of the Six of Cups, of just looking at the world like, no, I can't look at the hard stuff or the more negative stuff or the shadow stuff. I just want to look at it as a child, okay, perhaps for some. Or it could be that I'm still dealing with issues from the past that are making me not want to level up or step into my own power or accept this truth in some way, because I'm still dealing with something from the past or an actual person as well. Now, when we have it coming in here and it's confirming the Six of Cups, the Justice card, that's your card, right, in reverse. It could be the reason why you were not feeling like yourself, perhaps even during this week that we're currently in now, or even this upcoming weekend. But hopefully by then we said it will shift, right? But it could be because somebody doesn't want to look at issues from the past. Remember how I said the card was right side up? She's blindfolded, Lady Justice, right? And it's not something to understand with intellect, right? It's something to use the sword for. It's more about using your heart chakra. And when we think of children or even your inner child, right, that would be your heart chakra area. So there could definitely be a reason why there's a little bit of a blockage, or you weren't feeling all the way yourself or in your own power, or you weren't able to accept a truth, or someone else was not able to accept a truth or denying a truth, was because of the Six of Cups, these issues from the past, or childlike nostalgia from the past, something about wanting to keep the emotions just positive because it perhaps just was too hard to deal with, right? Now, going forward, though, when the Six of Cups is also confirming the Judgment in reverse, yeah, maybe there was a judgment made on you, or you made on someone else, or it was a passing of multiple judgments, okay, that maybe didn't go in your favor or their favor, multiple people's favors. But it's really like asking yourself, do I want to resurrect this thing, right? If the Judgment's the right side up in a lot of other decks, you would see the traditional scene from like the Bible, where you have people laying down in their graves, or even just one grave, and then the angel is blowing the horn, and he's like, time to resurrect, time to be reborn. If you were judged correctly, if you were a good person, you can live again, right? That's what they talk about. But when it's in reverse, it's like, no, I don't want it to live again. Well, what are we talking about? Issues from the past? We're talking about a childlike nostalgia or a person from the past. You could be saying here again, no, I don't want to do that. If we were talking about that self-sabotaging, self-destructive energy, maybe you used to do that in the past, or the other person did, or multiple people, general environment situation. And again, you could be putting a stop to that, okay? Now, moving forward, we talk about your third confirmation card here, and this is more future current energies, right? It is another six, and this time this one is in reverse, okay? But you have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So this is a little bit of a blockage, or I see it more as a warning, because it necessarily maybe hasn't happened yet, right? Depending on when you're watching the reading. But it is a feeling of perhaps for some being ungrateful, not giving back to others. Because when the Six of Pentacles is in the right side up position, you see this man here. He's got 6 pentacles, 6 quarters or coins, right? He doesn't have 10, but he has 6. And so he's going to share some. He's going to give back some to these little children or poor people. I guess they're not children in this card, but they're poor, less fortunate people. But what is he also holding? He's holding the justice balance scales. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see if I get too close. Sometimes the card everything will go out of focus. Can you see right there, guys, the balance scales? Hopefully. Okay. Anyway, you just have to trust me because they're there. All right. So again, that's if the card was right side up, the balance, right? Libra talking about balance, but it's in reverse. So it could be saying a way to get back into balance, right? Is to give back to others. You don't have to give necessarily money back to others. What is money? Time is money. Time equals money. You give your time to make money, right? For whatever you do. And so you could be giving back your time to others to get out of that stagnant energy or blockage of, okay, I'm going to teach someone something that they don't know how to do, but I do. I'm going to give my time and help, as an example, an elderly person carry their groceries up the stairs or help them cross the street or whatever it is. Okay, so that this is just a reminder, or it's more of a warning, or just a reminder, I feel like, is better. A warning sounds really scary. So just a reminder that if you do find yourself getting into a blockage again in the future, that is something that can help you possibly get back on track, get back in that grateful energy and that abundant energy. But anyway, we're talking about this as a confirmation card, right? So it's coming in here, the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, and it's confirming the 8 of Sacred Circles, 8 of Pentacles right side up, the Princess of Swords right side up, and then, of course, the Queen of Swords right side up. So for here, all of these cards that it is confirming are really positive, right? They're all in the right side up position. They're all positive here. Not all the time does the card being right side up mean it's positive, but here it does. So for that really says, right, we'll go one by one here, but let me do it in order. It's a catalyst card, right? So trying to get back into balance with things and become more abundant for yourself and for others is to give back, to be more in that grateful energy. And another way you can do this is to be really productive at something, right? To throw yourself into something that you know how to do that can possibly help others at the same time, to bide your time while you're dealing with any blockages or not feeling confident or not feeling all the way yourself in some way. That is a great way for everybody, regardless of if you're a Libra or not, right? And then also, the more that you can do that and strive for balance as far as your emotions, your mental, and your physical body in itself, just balancing those 3 things in itself, right? We all try to do that, and it's always sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't, but then you get back and you try to get it. But the more that you can do that here, Libra, you can have more mental clarity, excuse me, and you can, balance your emotions with the water in the background. You can bring in the creative energy, the abundant, childlike, playful energy we were talking about before, that also you need if you are leveling up, right? The queen, she doesn't have to be cold. She can wave down to the little people underneath her, okay? I mean, physically, they're underneath her because she's supposed to be a giant here, because that's Japan, right? Or one of the Japanese islands or whatever. But, it's like that playful energy is really needed, right? When you are using your intellect all the time, or you're in a higher position of authority and you have to manage other people or manage yourself or what have you, it may require a little bit of a balancing between the intellect and managing people and being, rational, but also putting back in that playful energy to balance it out so it doesn't feel, as cold and calculating and rough, okay? But the more that you are able to do that here, Libra, you can get the positive energy of the swords, of intellect here. And right, you got the Princess of Swords on one side, you got the Queen of Swords on the other, and then you have the Six of Pentacles in reverse in between, right? So all these balance things that we're talking about throughout your reading, okay? But you will be able to get there again, really more towards, this first 2 weeks of February to mid-February to maybe even your third week of February and beyond. Yes, Nefertiti, you'll be fed in a minute. You're not coming in the reading like you did last time. And so, this is possible here for you, Libra, okay? So just remember to be grateful. Remember to give back to others in some way, your time or your energy, and just keep yourself humble too, right? Like when you look at this Queen of Swords, she's not looking like, oh, okay, I have a position of authority over you guys, and I have maybe more money and more status and all of these things, but I'm still humble. Okay, so that's something to think about as well. Now, with your fourth and last tarot confirmation card, we have the Knight of Wands in reverse position. And I would say, again, this is more of a a reminder energy, right? Since it is in the position of current future energies, that if there is a communication that comes through, right? Because the Knight's cards are communication cards. That could be a communication that you're going to give to someone, or someone is going to give to you, or communication from the universe, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, just signs, right, from the world around you, your intellect. Not only your intellect, I meant to say your intuition. It could be that if you are not open to those things, that you don't receive it well, or the other person may not receive it well if it's not the best time, right? Timing is always a tricky thing, but it could also just be some general stagnant energy, as far as something going on here with, I see, a lot of fire here in your reading. So you could be dealing with a fire sign. You could have a lot of fire, energy in your birth chart, or they do, or multiple people do here in the reading. But, there is, if this card was right side up, there's a volcano exploding in the background, right? It's this kind of fiery energy. And you have the Sun in reverse, and you have the Princess of Swords right side up. There's just a lot of fiery energy here, not only in the imagery, but in some of the other signs too. So I would say that if there is a communication that you can, don't have it come out of nowhere, don't have it explode out of nowhere. If you can, right, slow it down, or if the other person can slow it down in some way, or multiple people, or general environment situation, usually it will be received better, right? And if it is about leveling up in some way too, because he's a knight, he's not a page. It usually goes page, knight, or page, princess, prince, and then king or queen, okay? If you're going to level up in some way, it could be saying to, guys, stop. Could be saying to approach the changes and the leveling up in a more humble and slowing down your energy way, okay? But when it comes in here, because this card is actually confirming the same cards we just confirmed, but a little bit differently, right? So it's coming in and confirming the Eight of Sacred Circles right side up, and the Princess of Swords right side up, and the Queen of Swords right side up, right? So again, it could be a catalyst card, because these, all the ones that's confirming, are very positive, okay? So it's basically saying that if a communication can be slowed down a little bit, and perhaps in a better timing, or not seen as explosive in some way, it can be channeled into more productive energy. Like, you can be really productive, but you don't have to go really fast, right? It just means that you're consistently doing something, right? And so the speed of it is up to you, hopefully, okay? Yeah, I don't know. That just felt like the right thing came through here. That's what my spirit guides told me. So now, when we talk about, the Princess of Swords in the right side up position, and it's being confirmed by the Knight of Wands in reverse here too. It's like, okay, let's take all this fiery energy, that productive energy, and make it useful and have it not be seen as the destructive energy of a volcano, right? It's not lava. It's not going to swallow up people and towns and stuff. Let's make that fire energy more productive. Let's make it help channel our emotions in a positive way. Let's help it bring in that truth, the spiritual downloads, the revelations, the more information, the creativity, the passion, all those things. But let's let it be channeled through the right I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Channeled through the right, I guess you could say vessel. It could be channeled through the right source. But again, I would go back to the speed thing of like, how fast does it really need to be here? Okay. Now, also, when this Knight of Wands is coming in here and confirming the Queen of Swords in the right side up position, it's about, possibly being a warning for some of you guys to, when you think of a king or a queen or anyone in authority or a position of authority, a CEO of a company, the boss that's above you, right, or above somebody, whatever, they don't just blurt out whatever they're going to say, right? They don't just act like a volcano. If they have to talk to the media, if they have to even talk to one person, they're going to write it down. They're going to talk about it with their trusted advisors. Is this the right way to say this? Is this the right time to say this? All those things. Okay. So again, take your time, or hopefully they will take their time, or multiple people will take their time. General environment will take their time to make sure that if there's a communication that really needs to be done at this time, that you can do it in the more balanced, humble way possible here, Libra. Okay. So that is what I have for you as far as the tarot. But real quickly, what time are we at? Let's do your quick oracle cards before we go. So we have just two here. So your first one is your love oracle message, whether you're watching for romantic love or platonic love with friends or family, or self-love, or all those things, right? Your love oracle message for this time period is passion, and it says, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Okay, so that's always a nice one to get. And so you could be passionate with your romantic lover. You could be passionate with your friends or family, right? And you could be passionate with your own self-care and your own self-love. But it's really saying, show your heart and your soul and let it be joyful. Let yourself or the other person or multiple people, general environment situation, really enjoy what you're doing, or really, if it's not always, you don't always enjoy what you're doing, but there has to be something that you enjoy. Okay, there has to be something in your day or in your time that you enjoy. So share that joy with yourself first, and then with others. Is really, a beautiful message, regardless of this time period, including Valentine's Day, if you celebrate or not. But it's a beautiful message for every sign and throughout all the different times. Okay, so that is your message there. Now, your second oracle card. This is a really beautiful deck that I got recently. It is the Rumi or Remy, depending on how you pronounce it, Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild here. And so Rumi or Remy, depending on how you pronounce it, is a 13th century Persian poet. He's one of my favorite. And so when I saw that she had done this Oracle deck, I was like, oh my God, I have to get it. Okay, so anyway, this is your Oracle Remy or Rumi Oracle message for this time period. It's card number 42, and it says Dance of the Divine Feminine. And it's kind of, the artist is a very kind of surrealist, abstract artwork for this deck, but it's really pretty. You kind of do see a woman or figure here coming towards the light in the center, if you guys can see that. So I'm not going to read all of it here, but just a little bit of this card, what it represents, okay? So it says, Dance of the Divine Feminine. And this is a little bit of a poem here from one of Rumi Aremi's poetry. It says, if a tree could move from one place to another, it would not suffer the pain of the saw or the oppressive wounds. If the sun and the moon stood still like the rocks, they could not offer brilliance. How bitter the taste of water would be if the river stopped its flow, remaining still like seawater. When the seawater rises to become a cloud, it loses its bitterness and pours the rain of sweetness. I have given you only a few examples. You can figure out the rest. Break away from the self and enter the kingdom of love. It says, this is still part of the poem, how can your feet bear to be still when the music is so lush and inviting? How can you hold yourself back from the tide of love when the horizon looms so vast and exciting? How can you arch your back and respond with ecstasy to a lover's touch, saying in absolute submission, yes, more? You were made to move and grow, to love and flow. Even mountains change. Surrender the sturdy ways of the mind, right? All those swords cards we were talking about, and the intellect, and become more willing to dance to the great orchestrations of love. Okay. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. I don't even remember this poem here. Obviously, I can't remember all of his poetry. So that's beautiful. And then that is the poem, but there is a little sacred ritual here. It's only a couple sentences, okay? It says, say the following aloud. When the caterpillar, oh my gosh, when the caterpillar calls the end, the master calls the butterfly. Okay. Repeat it 3 times or how many times feels necessary for you in a deeper part of your being to really believe in what you're saying. You'll know when that happens because you will feel more peace and presence within, and then you will have completed your sacred honoring ritual. So yeah, it just says that one sentence, what the caterpillar calls the end, the master calls the butterfly. Really, Neffy? You had to come in on the last sentence? Hold on, guys. Let me show you this kitty cat. Kitty cat. Do you like butterflies? It says, wait, what did it say? What the caterpillar calls the end, the master calls the butterfly. What the caterpillar calls the end, the master calls the butterfly. All right, go get a butterfly, Nefertiti. All right, so that is your oracle message here. That's beautiful. So yeah, again, a great message for any time. So thank you guys so much. Speaking of time, thank you for watching and for your energy, for your views, for your likes, for your shares, if you share it with anybody. And if you want to subscribe and you haven't yet, it is free. All those things are a great free way to help the channel grow here. And I appreciate it. But yeah, if you want to subscribe and you haven't yet, all you have to do is click on the bell icon on the bottom right over there for you guys, I think, and just make sure it's blue and it's active, and it'll notify you when I put out new readings. So yeah, I'm going to feed my cat and take a break here for a little bit, but hopefully I will be back tonight with Scorpio is next. So you guys are free to join me there as well. You don't have to, but anyway, you guys take care and I'll see you later. All right, thank you. Bye.